Echo here, welcome back to FTB Infinity. I'll say Infinity this time. I said Insanity last time, using pack names with a similar name. Welcome back to FTB Infinity. I'm starting down here looking up at my tree. As you can see, I have started building up there. You can just see some Mickey Mouse ears poking out up there. I'll jump up there in a minute. Before we get up there, you can also see a little thing there that I don't know if I like. That's because the travel anchor has only got a 48 block range, so it goes up around 44ish, and it goes up about another 44ish. To the top, and I've cleared out all the top. Now, clearing out the top was a pain in the balls. I spent about an hour doing it in survival, and then I was sick of it. I was sick of seeing green bloody leaves, so I actually opted myself and went into creative and just cleared the top out of there. So I've not done any building or resource gathering anything in creative. I've not cheated any items in. All I did was I used it to smash some items up. So the tree was right about up to where them clouds are, so I've cleared a good bit of foliage off that. There's still a load there though, and that's kind of how I wanted it. So that's the base of the castle. It is going to come out wider than the tree. If it looks weird, I've got an idea that I might play with using inverted sky blocks, them guys. I might have it so you can't actually see any of the tree, any of the castle at all. I might do the underside of it if it gets really big, because I don't want to be restricted by the size of the tree. But it's pretty big up there. We'll see when I get up there. So I'm going to jump across here. The version's updated. I'm on to version 1.2.1. So that's pretty cool. I'm not exactly sure what the version update did, because when I checked the changelog there was no new changelog on there. But some things have changed. There's something in RF tools certainly changed. So I thought that might have been updated. Right, I've had a couple of issues. One is carpenter blocks with glowstone that I showed you last time is not working properly. If you remember last episode, I came in the end with the concussion creeper that teleported the villager outside when he got killed. This should have been all lit with the carpenter blocks, and it wasn't. When I was doing up here, so I'm going to show you up here, and we'll come back down in a minute. I created this little observation deck area. I made some travel anchors, like I said I would, and then so that's about the 48 block limit. Like I said, I think it's about 46. And then about the same again. I'll talk about this in a minute up here. This is the area I've cleared out as a workspace. Just took a bit of damage there. Awesome. And now I'm stuck in here. Awesome. What a knob. I'm sure a lot of you can guess what this little space here is going to become. That is going to be my AE controller block. That's where all my controllers are going to be eventually. Let me climb my way back up here. And I'll show you my little method how I've been clearing that out in a minute. In fact, my shears are going to break, so I'm not going to show you that. So I've just flattened out the top. I got to this level, and cleared out around it, and then I've gone one block lower, so I can build a floor up here. And I'm using these are cobble. No, they're not. The stone, and these are Tyrian. And Tyrian's quite expensive. I've used nearly all my iron just making this portion of the floor. So what I did, I was up here, and I came back down to here. This was just full of mobs, and luckily I was full health. I got knocked down to like 2 hearts. Creeper exploded. Luckily the creeper killed the skeletons and the zombies in here, so I managed to get out of here. It didn't destroy the anchor, but it destroyed loads of the wood there, or one side anyway. I don't know which way I was facing. It all looks the same from up here. It's quite nice up here. A good view. I'm calling this little area the observation deck. I should be able to get. I maybe should have the. Should maybe have the roof too high in the middle, so I can try and entice Enderman up here. Can they teleport this far? Don't know. Let's have a look. I'm still really low on ender pearls. Not seen any ender lily seeds. I'm not sure if they've been disabled. The shedding from Britannia has been disabled. So when I was waiting for that villager to drop a ender pearl, 2 or 3 people in the comments let me know that the shedding is disabled, which is a Britannia thing that makes mobs drop their loot items. So villagers occasionally drop emeralds, chicken drop feathers, stuff like that. So that's disabled in this pack. So that's good to know. Now that I know that, I won't wait around for things to drop. So yeah, what was I coming back down? So there's mobs up there, and then I came back in here. There was a skeleton in here. It's not a big deal. I came down here, and there was a creeper in here, and I managed to get halfway back up here, and he nearly killed me as well. So I've been nearly killed twice in my base. So I've had to get rid of all the carpenter blocks. So I'm using torches for now. I'm gonna have to use a different method of lighting, because the carpenter blocks just don't seem to be working in this pack. I've heard of that before. I've heard there has been an issue with carpenter blocks doing that, but I've not had the issue myself before. I had a little bit when we moved from Chisel 1 to Chisel 2 on Resident Rise, I think, but it cleared up after a day or so. Right after what 10 minutes, it cleared up. I put stuff down and there's still red squares showing. So I logged off and logged back on, and then it seemed alright after that. But I have got a magnum torch there, so it might not be safe there if we've got the magnum torch. So Chisel 2 may be dodgy with the carpenter block lights, so just be careful if you are lighting your base up like that. So yeah, that is what you would say, what you would call a thing, isn't it? So you can see a little build from up there. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep the underneath as covered with leaves as I can. Because I can't fly, it's proving a bit difficult. Because I don't want to risk falling off and dying, because obviously if I fall off that, I could get to a hang glider pretty quick. But I haven't fell off yet, touch wood. Let me go touch some wood. Touch. And yeah, my armour, my helmet destroyed, my chest destroyed from taking damage. You see the legs are nearly gone there, so I had to replace them. So yeah, that's actually really good for keeping that one full up, all these zombies knocking about. Let me chuck that in there. I've kept some of this wood. Most of it's gone. I've kept getting full inventory. So yeah, travel anchor, these are pretty cool. I don't often use these because I generally build a base and I like to move around the base rather than just teleport around it, because I think if you build something, if you try to make an effort to build something that look right, then teleporting around it's kind of defeating the object of building it. You might as well just build it in a cave. Whereas this is just going straight up. I don't actually have any issue using these. They're pretty cool. You can put a name in them. So if I wanted to put base, then if I look at it there, move my mouse over it, there's base, and if I come up to the top ones, oops, I don't know why I did that. If I go up to the top ones, when you look down there, it shows you that as well, which is pretty cool. You can also put items into these. So now I'll call that OO for some reason, and if I jump down to base, if we look up at OO, you'll see the OO there. You can see it's got the little icon of the leaf in there as well. And that's pretty cool. And you can also make them private and protected. I think protected makes it so that other people can't change it. I think private makes it so it only works for you. I think. I am not sure. Like I said, I don't use them a great deal. So let's jump back up the top. So what have I done up here then? So I cleared out an area, and I'm working from the middle here. I thought, right, I'll have a 5x5 cube ME controller, and then I just measured out 17 blocks and built a straight line across on each side, so I know it's even. I'm lying. The first thing I did was, when I got up here, was I went 10 blocks straight up in the air, and I put a dirt block there with a torch in it so mobs don't spawn on it, and I went out from that 11 blocks each way, so there's a 10 block gap between them bits of dirt. That there is for the Draconic Evolution energy sphere. I think it's too high from here though. I actually want it to be lower. I'm going to have to make one of these in single player and see exactly how many blocks the sphere takes up, because I want the sphere to start about 3 or 4 blocks above my head, so about 5 blocks above this. I think that's too high, but that's basically, it's a big sphere and it sends power out to 4 pylons. No, the pylons are different, they're not pylons. The 4 things on either side, it sends power out or in from the things on the side. So that was the basis of the build. So then I've gone 17 blocks out, I've put a wall there to even things up, and then I worked out where the corners were, and I've put a tower in each corner. Now these do overlap the sides a little bit, but I didn't want to overlap much. I didn't want to build too much, because people, I've had a couple of complaints, people saying I build too much off camera. So all I've really done is the floor here. It looks like I've done more, but all it is I've put a floor down and I've lit it with torches temporarily. So I've built a little circular area. I can build towers pretty quick because I built that bloody many. So all you do, these are 11 by 11 towers. So you find out where your middle block is. So middle block is that one. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 either way. That gives you 11 across the middle. Then you start over here. So you put 5 blocks down, and 5 blocks down, and 5 blocks down, and 5 blocks down, then you work out what you need to connect them. So in this case it's just 2 and 2. So that gives you a little quick tower. Like I said, this is overhanging the edge in some places more than others. Shouldn't be an issue. You should be able to see the castle from the bottom, but that's okay. You want to be able to see it a bit. Depends though, because I'm going to start coming out from the sides of this, and it might start looking a bit weird if I get too big up here. I think I mentioned it. If I get too big up here, I'm going to have a go at using these sky blocks. I think I've already said that because I've got that open on there, so I presume I have. The blocks I've used up here are Tyrian. Pretty expensive at the minute, because each one of 8 of these takes an iron ingot. So I've used about a stack and a half of iron ingots. I think I've got about 10 iron ingots left. So that's where most of my iron has gone. I'm making this Tyrian floor. I like Tyrian because it's black, but it's not real dark, if you know what I mean. It's like a grey black. It looks black, but it also looks grey, if you know what I mean. So it's one of my favourite go-to floors. Not sure about these for the walls. I might make this inner wall and change all these for lab blocks when I can, and then do an outer skin around this when I can fly later on, with something more castle-y on the outside. I may use something a bit more exotic than just cobble as well, but for now it's just going to give me a workspace. So the reason why I wanted to get up here real quick is because I've got no space down there and I want to start making stuff. So this episode I'm going to make some inscribers. They're going to go in here, or one of the corners. I'll just arbitrarily pick a corner. I might as well this northwest one. So I want some inscribers up here to start making processors for AE, and I want a crystal growth accelerator set up for making the seeds. So that's going to be in one of these corners, which is why I wanted at least a little corner space setting up. So that's what I've done. And then underneath here, I was going to leave it like that, but I thought I'm probably going to need somewhere to run cables and stuff, so I kind of want a workspace. So what I've done is I've just been clearing out 3 blocks down below. So I've got I'm gonna have a little basement. So if this is all gonna be closed in, I might make some of this glass, you know, so you can actually see down into here, and have all my cables running down here. Everything is going to be wired apart from some of the power. I'm going to P2P redstone, P2P liquids, and everything. I might P2P some power, but I'm going to use some of them thermodynamics, unlimited throughput, cryo stabilized power conduits for certain bits of it. But I'm going to run all the ME cables underneath, so I might have glass floors around the central part of this. This is going to be a work area as well. So eventually we're going to be all bees and stuff around here, aren't we? So how I've been doing it is, just down here I'm just using stone bricks, and they're just different kind of chiseled stone bricks. But what I want is, I want a definite green floor underneath. So I'm making sure as I clear this out that I do not leave anywhere that's got anywhere where there's stone touching. So like here, if there's any gaps in this, I've been filling the gaps in. So there is always going to be. I've been using shears for this, so I get the leaves like so. So anywhere where there's a gap, I've come over here. This bit I ain't done yet. So you're going to have to come right out here because we're not far enough out. So if you look at it too closely from below, it might look a bit weird. Right, I'm going to come out to where that edge is there. So this is going to have stone bricks there. So wherever there's stone bricks behind the stone bricks, I want to make sure there's at least one layer of the leaves blocking it. So where we'll come along here, we're going to have leaves. So it's going to look a little bit weird from below. Maybe you'll be able to see a little bit of the floor through it, but it shouldn't affect it too much. So I'm going to have bricks there. My shears broke, didn't they? So we're going to come down here. Is this brick floor is going to come across, and we're going to want to come up one there. So that's going to be like that. So that's going to be the different type of brick there. So I want to make sure that we've got a solid line. You get me? So that's all I've been doing. I've been clearing this out so you can see it a bit better around here. I've been clearing it out there, so when I get some more stone from downstairs, I should be putting all stone in here, and there's a solid green base beneath the basement. So this is a little basement area. I'm going to cut now. I'm going to finish this basement area off, and then we shall get to making some tech stuff for the rest of the episode. Boo! Oh, I died again. Damn it. Second death. Fallen knight on a horse right outside my door. I had an enderman out there, and I need to get enderman killed, so I went out there, and that guy was just waiting for me. I think I'm going to have to sleep, otherwise he's going to get me again. I can hear him. Okay, a bit of a big fail. I've just done about 10 minutes of recording, and I had the button pressed wrong so that I was recording when I wasn't meant to be, and I wasn't recording when I was. So I've just done a little setup. I'm going to have to do it all again in a minute. Just read a comment from a commenter, Rehabaholic. Thank you very much. Let me know about these things from Run It Dungeons. Amulet of Healing. I need, as soon as I get a gas tier, and I can make Potion of Regen, I can make a little Amulet of Healing there that I can put in my next slot, and I'll get a slow regen effect. Don't know. It says slow but effective, so I'm not sure what kind of regen effect it's going to give me. So yeah, before we carry on, I was going to show you what I've been doing down here. I decided to go away from the stone, and I've been playing around with some technical blocks. These are new chisel blocks, and some factory blocks that are the good old trusty chisel blocks there. So I've got factory blocks on the floor, and up around here. This will all be closed in, of course. This will all have a roof over it unless I put some glass bits in, so you can see down into here. But this is where a lot of pipes and stuff will run, I guess. I don't know yet. Everything's subject to change, of course. But I've gone with these blocks. These are little spinning blocks, and that's a broken one. And this is one I like over here. This is a slightly broken one. Well, that's an off one. This is a broken one. So this one, a malfunctioning fan. So that one spins up and then slows down a bit. That's a fan fast. And that is that a fan off, or is that broken? That is a fan off. Cool. So that's the kind of pattern I'm going. These are also technical blocks. That's called a tube, I think, and that is just a plate, rusty plate. So that's what I'll be doing down here with this like checkerboard pattern. Or my thing, I've put some little slopes down here. I might leave them in, I might not. Not decided yet. And around here I've just put a little laboratory block floor, laboratory block wall with the base ones there and the enamelled wall above. So this is where I'm going to build a little setup here. So I'll just build this up on camera. Steve's Factory Manager is the best way of controlling your power into your crystal growth accelerators. So I built all these on camera. I'll just quickly show you the recipes. That's your inventory manager. All we need for this is an inventory manager, one item valve, which is just a hopper, a dropper and a couple of hoppers, and one redstone emitter. And that is the only 3 bits you need for this. Then we'll need a bit of cable, which uses a little bit of gold, a little bit of iron, so on. And then I've made 4 crystal growth accelerators. So these actually don't benefit from purifying the fluids, because to make a block, it's either 4 normal or 8 pure. So you don't actually waste anything making these, because that's the first thing you need to make. I have also had to make this energy acceptor, which used 1, and some quartz glass. So I ground some nether quartz up into that, and I've not brought my stuff up. Okay, I have to go back down and get some more stuff in a minute. And then I had to make some cable, which uses that as well, and some quartz fibre, which I use nether quartz for that. Again, I've been to the nether, mined a little bit of nether quartz, and just any glass gets me that. So I've got some cable there. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to place is the item valve. That's going to go just here, and then to make things awkward, I need these facing upwards. So I'm just going to place a few blocks down just around here for a second, which I shall move in a moment. And that, like that, just so I can place these guys around the outside of this item valve. There we go. And now what I want to do is actually move these. I want that one, them two can stay where they are yet, and I want that one to come over here. I'll do for now. This is all temporary. I will move all this around once I've got it set up, and this will be able to be expanded so it can be fully automated by my AE system once it's capable. At the minute, all it's going to do is we'll throw things in there, and they're going to come back into there when they are done. So there's our basic little setup. What we need in there is our bucket of water, and that is where our seeds are going to grow into the pure fluix and pure certus. We need power to this. So I'm going to go like so, and down to there, and then I've got this thing here. It's called a toggle bus. A couple of bits of cable, a lever, and some redstone. This is the important part of this. These things draw quite a bit of power, so the amount of time you use them, you don't want them on all the time. So what we're making here is a little setup that will allow us to. I need that. Come here, you. A little setup that will only turn this on whenever there are seeds in there. So what I want here is we need an energy acceptor to put power into this system, and we need an energy source. So I've brought one of the 2 capacitor banks from upstairs, from downstairs up here. So that's what we're going to use to power. And now we're going to need to do a little bit of setting up on here. So a couple of things we need to do. First of all, we need to put the seeds in and out. So I want a condition here, and basic in and out. Tell you what, so I'll break these off camera. I'll do the redstone emitter one on camera, and I'll do that one off camera. So I'll come back and do that. What that one's going to do there is that is going to see what's in this chest, and if there's any seeds in here, it's going to take the seeds from here and put them into the water, and then it's going to detect if the seeds become pure fluix or pure certus or normal fluix, then it's going to pull them out of here and put them back into there. So nice and easy. So we can throw things into here and they'll come back into here once they're done. And the other bit we're going to do, and that's what the redstone emitter's for, is we're going to power it when there's seeds in there. So I'll quickly do that one on camera. So we want another trigger, do that one over here, and we're going to want a condition, and we're going to want 2 redstone emitters for this one. So drag them over here. We want 2 because we want it a condition when it's true and it's false. So our condition is if the item valve has above it any seeds. So let's go with quartz seed. There we go, Certus quartz seed, and we're going to make that fuzzy. Fuzzy detection. So what that's going to check for is any Certus quartz seed or Fluix quartz seed, because they're the same part number, they're the same ID. So if you look at it in here, I've done a little video on this as well, but that was a little bit more advanced because that was actually tying it into the ME system. So our Certus quartz seed here, its ID is 4347. There's also this 4347 and 4347, there we go, so it stays the same all the way through. If we look at Fluix seed, then that's the same. It's still 4347, it's just got a different metadata, but that, because we've done it fuzzy, it'll recognise that as well. So basically what we're saying, if there's any seed in that water, so that's above the item valve, then if any seed above the item valve, then what we want to do is we want to say, if there is, we want this redstone emitter to put a signal out on the top. So we're going to say redstone emitter, it's the only one there, and it's only the top we care about, so we'll deselect all the rest. And we want the output to be 15, which is a full redstone signal. That's all we have to do. But because we don't want this all the time, we want, when there's no seed in there, so when the condition is false, we want to make sure that the redstone signal gets turned off. So SAD's up again, and this time our output we want to set to 0. There we go. And that's all there is to it. So that's a little redstone thing. In fact, let's turn that off because they're all set to be on for some reason. So let's make that all the SADs. Oops. Let's make that all the SAD just in case, so it doesn't affect anything else. So there you go. So there's no redstone signal on any SAD there. I'll go get some seeds and I'll come back up, and then I'll do this bit of code over here and show you it, and then we'll be able to do some. Okay then, here we go. I've got some bits, and I shall show you this bit first. So ignore that bit, we're all done with that bit. I don't actually need a condition in this. I had to think about it. I thought I don't actually need a condition, so I've not put one in there. What we've got is a little input output little stack there. So our first one is the strong box, doesn't matter what SAD, and in the strong box we're saying if there is any Certus quartz seed, and that's fuzzy, so that'll look for Fluix as well, or if there's any well, not looking for. If they're saying if there's any in the strong box, any Certus quartz seed, and it's fuzzy, so it could be Fluix as well. Or if there's any charged Certus quartz, redstone, and nether quartz, because of course these three make the Fluix in the first place. Yeah, so you make the Fluix crystal, charged Certus, nether quartz, redstone, dust. So we need them in there as well. So that's what that's saying. If there's any of them or that, and these are all precise, then put them, output them to the item valve, so the top of the item valve, and that's just a blacklist. So what that does is anything that goes in here, and if any of these items that go in here, this or the dust, so let's make some dust. So you make the dust just using the, make the seed using the dust and sand, so we'll make 32 of them seeds, I'll make 32 of them seeds. So you can see it doubles it up. We've gone from 16 to 32, so that's where you're getting your doubling up from, the actual making of the seeds. So any of them, any of these items, them, or nether quartz seeds if we do it, but I don't bother doing the nether quartz seeds, that go in this strong box will get immediately thrown into there. If they are seeds, then that's when this bit kicks in, because it only looks for seeds. Of course, these three happen that quick, you don't need the power on for them, so it's only detecting for seeds here, it's not detecting for them three. So if the seeds, then the power comes on, which will turn it on, which will turn this on, and then it loops to another input output. This time the input is the item valve, and we're looking for any pure Certus quartz or pure Fluix or Fluix. Now we've had to do it slightly different here because I need to go precise detection on this, so we can't do fuzzy. And the reason is because this charge status quartz is the same ID as the pure there, so we don't want to pull that out. We want to let that transform into fluix. So we go precise on this. So we're looking for precisely that, or fluix crystal. And all it's saying is pull it out from above the item valve and into the strongbox. Easy enough. So what we can do now, so we'll do a little sample. If we chuck them three in there, they'll all disappear. This won't turn on, and you'll get them back in there straight away. So there we go, 16 of them. So that happens really quick. And then if we throw these in here, what you're going to see is, I'll put all these in together, they'll disappear as well. That redstone will come on when it detects them, which will turn that on, which will turn these on. You can see it's turned on there. And now what I've got to do is wait. It still takes a bit of time, it takes about a minute, so I'm just going to stand and talk to you. And you see it's using power there, 64 hour for tick. Each one of these is taking 16 hour for tick. So like I said, I'm probably going to make a fifth one to go on top, make it a little bit quicker, so you can have fifth one. So I did a little test there, that's why I've got 2 pure already. And what we'll see is as soon as they turn into pure, so you can see there are little seeds at the minute, they'll go through the 3 stages of seeds and then become pure. And as soon as they become pure, they'll get dragged back into here and the power will turn off. So whenever I want some pure crystals, until I get it fully automated, once it's fully automated, what I can do is I can set export buses on this strong box with level emitters on them, so I can export our interfaces if I don't want to do it by level emitter. But I can set that on this, and it'll throw the things in there, it'll do it, put them back in here, and I can extract them back out of there, or I can get it to put straight into a ME interface or something instead of putting the finished products back into here. So it's really easy to add this actually onto your ME network. Until we get to that point, all I've got to do is make sure I've got a power source here, and this, I mean, I'll have power up here soon enough anyway, so this will be part of the main system. And all I have to do is throw the seeds in there, come back 5 minutes later. I know I'm not wasting energy, and I know they'll end up back in there, so it's all good. It doesn't actually matter if they don't end up back in there, you know, because these things don't despawn. These are special items, and none of these despawn if they're left around, so you could forget about these and come back later. There's a few items that do that these days. The Terra Shatter is one as well from Britannia. Let's see, as soon as they go, this power will go off, so we'll know when to look in the chest. Come on. And what we're going to have now is, there we go, power's gone off, which means, if you look in there, we've got our 32 pure and 32 pure. All sorted. Excellent. So now what I can do is I can make some inscribers. Now, we could set these up on some of these guys. It's pretty straightforward to make. We could set these up to be automated as well, but for now, just until we get started, I'm going to set them just so that I've got to manually put the bits in there. So I'll go get them bits ready. I'll get rid of this rain. What's there? I'll go get them bits ready, and I should be back in a moment. Okay, then the next part of this gets ever so slightly complicated. Well, slightly more complicated than this bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. What I'm going to do is I need a little bit of a bit more cable. So let's start with that. Let's go with 10 cable, see how that does. Now, the problem we've got here is we're going to want to start using channels, and this doesn't give out many. At the minute, though, we just need power, so I'm going to kind of do this a little bit manual, just for now. And what we can make as soon as we get going with this is some other stuff. So what I need here is I had to go mining again because I had no iron. So I've been down into the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these in total is what we need. Like that. And I'm going to go put 4 of them on top of each other. Now, do you share power with you if I put you on top? Oops. You do. That's awesome. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to throw these on top of each other. Now, what these are eventually going to have is an import bus and an export bus. So 4 of these is going to use up I'll go over here. Never mind. 4 of these is going to use 8 channels. Yeah. So because that's not actually using any channels, these don't use channels. What about? No, these don't. But the buses do. So this would run off. This would use all 8 channels of this thing, just for these 4. So eventually we are going to have to get better than that. What we can do now, we've got these though. These have all got power. We'll get acceleration cards in them once we've got the stuff to make them, but we're not there yet, so it's going to be a little bit slow at the minute. Acceleration cards, pure fluids, easy enough, and advanced cards need these calculation processors, which is what we're gearing up to make. What I need out my bag here is these 4 presses that I got, and we're going to go with logic. Which one's which then? Let's have a look. I never remember. Calculation is the fluids one. Logic is, yeah, logic's a gold one. Okay, so if I put that in there with a gold ingot, that is going to do nothing. Oh, there you go. That's going to make us a printed logic circuit. So that's our logic, and then we want calculation, which is, so the press is going to top. Calculation is going to get us that one. This one is going to be the engineering, which is diamond, and this one is going to be the silicon, which is silicon. Silicon press, diamond press, and you can see them pressing away there. And then what we're going to want is, we've got a 5th one of these, and this is one we're going to combine them all together. So for this, we're going to make a little, once we get it going properly, we're going to have a little sub network for this that will do this for us. So for now though, as I said, we're going to have to start off manually. So what we need is, we need the printed one, the engineering one, which is the diamond one. What are you doing? Silly person. And the printed silicon. Now this 5th one, this is a little bit different. What we're doing this is, the engineering circuit goes in the top, the redstone goes in the middle, and the silicon goes in the bottom. So when we automate this, there's no like progress bar showing anything, is it? Oh, there we go. Look, it says it there, but it doesn't actually have a bar going up. We have now made ourselves an engineering processor. Wonderful. So this will eventually, these ones only need an input on the side because the press is staying there, and you're only going to send in from the side. So that's from this side, and the output is from this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 channels on that, and then we'll have a little sub network with this one. This one, because we're feeding in from the top, bottom, and middle, we'll need a input bus on the top, bottom, and this side, and output on that side. We'll use an interface there. So is it import or do we export or do we use storage? One of the two. But we'll get to that very soon. For now though, just slightly manual. At the minute we're powering it off that, so it's all good. We've got a little setup there so we can manually come up here. We're going to do one at a time, unfortunately. I could put hoppers and stuff on, but it's, for the fact that I'm going to be able to automate it pretty quick, it's not really worth it. What I've got now though is that engineering processor. What else I've got here is, from the meteors that I got them presses out of, that I got them things from, I got some of the skystone and I've cooked it up. Skystone, cooked up in a skystone block. What we can do with that now is 4 of them in the corner, this press we've just made, and 4 pure fluids gets us our first ME controller. Woo, cool. So now we can start a little network. What I want to do is, I'm going to need an ME chest. Or do I want to skip that and go straight for a drive? Let's have a look what an ME drive entails. ME drive, that's 2 diamonds and 2 cables. Pretty straightforward ME drive, cool. And then let's have a look at let's go with a 4K cell to start. The 4K cell needs 4K cell storage, glass, redstone, and iron's easy. 4K cell needs 3 1Ks, so we need 1 of them calculations, and we need 4. Is that right? Sorry, 3 gold. So I'll get them made, and with some of our pure sets and some of that, we'll get a 4K cell nice and easy, and I can put all my stuff into that. Now, yeah, I think I might as well just make an ME chest for now. Why not? ME chest a little bit cheaper. We only need 1 drive at the minute. I actually might see if we've got enough. Yeah, we should have got plenty of gold. Yeah, I'll make a 16K cell. I'll make an ME chest. ME chest needs a terminal, does it? That's harsh. So get that. These are new. We need to make. They also need gold. So I'll get all these bits made. So when I come back, I'll have a controller and a chest with a drive in it. Basically, I'll have an ME network. Awesome. And after that, I think I've got a little bit of time left. I need ender pearls, like I said. I need mob essence, so I'm going to make an autonomous activator, which now needs power. And I'm going to start turning them essence berry bushes. No, essence berries, we're going to have them bushes. I'm going to automate that to an extent and start turning that into mob essence, into a drum, if I've got time to get all the bits together. So I shall be back once I've made all these bits, and we'll have a little ME network downstairs, which I can eventually bring up here when I bring the power up here. Okay then, I got some bits made. I actually made 18 of the gold ones, 4 of the diamonds, and 8 of the calculation, which is the pure setters, of course. So I got a little bit of a stock of them going. I put a hopper on the side of the inscribers for the gold one and the silicon one. That helped a little bit, and I was just manually clicking them into the last one. But as soon as we get our system upstairs, we will be automating that. And what I decided to do is I decided to go for an ME drive, not a chest, because an ME drive is going to give us a little bit better options. ME drive is going to let us have more than one cell. Now, I haven't got a lot of stuff, but I've got a lot of number of items. If I want to put all this into cells, then I'm going to need more than one cell, certainly. In fact, I'm going to go over one more than I've actually made. I've put 3 together so far. I'm going to put another one. So let's go 1, 2, 3. So I've made some 1K storages, and I made them into 4K storages. So that uses some of this quartz glass. That gives me a 4th one of them, so I've got 4 of them now. And now, with some iron, some redstone, and some more quartz glass, I can make 1, 2, 3, 4 of these 4K storage cells. And I made another little item here. It's called a workbench. There it is, cell workbench. That used one of the calculation processors, chests and wool and iron. And what I can do now is I can actually specify what I want to put in each of these. So I'm going to take a little bit of time, and I'm going to have one of these is going to be all ingots. One of them will have all my blocks and stuff. One of them will have all my organic stuff, and one of them will have all my lapis and stuff like that. And then I'll have to leave this other stuff in just a random chest for now. So that's okay though. I can get the majority of my stuff into here. Now, to actually access these cells in here, I'm going to need a terminal. So that's the next thing I want to do. So crafting, I'll go over crafting terminal. So that we need a ME terminal first. So I've made some of these formation cores, and I've got formation core yet. I need to make some annihilation cores. So that's that one. So that's just a bit of nether quartz, fluix dust. Logic processor, wonderful. And now we can combine that. I need a panel, don't I? Illuminated panel. Bit of glowstone. Combine that for the panel. This is 3 panels, so we need 1 at the minute. And then put that together for an ME terminal. But now what I actually want to do is I want to combine that with a crafting bench. So I need 4 more bits of wood. Make another crafting bench, and now I can combine that with another calculation processor, and we have got that. I'm going to need 1 cable there. I want one more thing here. I want to make an ME interface, and that is them other 2 of them. Bit of glass, bit of iron, sorted. So we've got all the bits for that. And it actually makes it as a block one. What are we missing? We've got them. Iron. We're missing iron. We've got them all out of iron again, am I? So you make the block one, like so. And then you put that back in your crafting table. It makes it into a multi-part one. And now what I can do is I can move this strongbox all the way. And let's have that show me how full it is. So we've got the cable running across the back of there, of course, to the top of this, the leadstone cable. So what I can do now, if I put a cable here, like so, I can put the ME interface onto my thing there, my alloy smelter. So that'll push any items into the ME interface, which will push them into the storage cells here. And I can also fasten my crafting terminal to it. So there we go. I have got a little. I like to have it on the standard search, so it doesn't automatically go into that search box. I've got a little ME network sorted. Hooray! I can put all my stuff, well, a lot of my stuff into it. So I'm going to cut again. I'm going to get all these bits. I'm going to get these cells organised into what goes into what, and I shall come back with that little bit of mob essence stuff that I want to do. I've got a clipboard. It's there. There we go. So things I want to do this episode: I've got crystal growth accelerators done and automated. I've got the processors done, not quite automated yet, but we'll get on with that. I just wanted to mention we can double status with Tinker's Construct. No, with Foundcraft TC. We can double status with Foundcraft. I might have to get that because I'm getting pretty low. As soon as I get a quarry going, it shouldn't be an issue. But until I get a quarry going, I might want to double that up. So I might do a little setup with Foundcraft to do that. The last thing I want to do in this episode is I've left that in twice. I was going to write something else there. I was going to write ME network, which I've done. Hooray! So yeah, I might do that. Before the episode finishes, even though it's getting long, I want to do mob essence. Back in a minute. Okay then, we're 40 minutes in, and I just want to finish off the episode really quick by doing this. Let's just turn that grid off that I had on there. I brought my essence berry bushes up here, and what I've made is I've made a harvester. So those bits, bit of invar, bit of plastic, pretty straightforward. So I'm going to have my harvester just there, and I brought the power across from over there for now until I get all this powered up top, because that's going to need power. What that's going to do now is that it's going to harvest the berries off there when it gets them, chuck them at the back. So what I'm going to do out the back is I'm going to chuck my dolly there. There we go. So that'll put the berries in there. This thing will fill up with sludge, and the sludge now does slow it down a bit, but this will grow at the rate that it won't make a difference. I'll eventually have a sigil of the ritual of the green growth under that once I really want to get going with this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put an autonomous activator up here, and you will see that this guy uses power. Check that out. Now I don't know if he uses power all the time. Strange. He's got power in him. I see him working there. Let's actually pick him up. He's still got power. He has got power. It's not using any. Let's let him eat one of these. Oh, it's not actually using any there either by the look of it. So it looks like this is maybe a work in progress and it doesn't actually use power yet. What I want to do is I want to be able to make this barrel put into that, so I'm going to put a hopper upgrade on it. So I need a structural upgrade, and then a hopper upgrade, and then a hopper facade on the top there, and that's going to put I want it that way, I think. And I want to feed this in from the bottom. I won't do that just yet. What I want to do around this side is I've got this sewer, also from Manufacturer Reloaded, that I made. That used them items, and if we have it so the essence, what do I use glass for? Let's put them there a second while I just surround this with glass. Now I can get rid of them again. So you get 4 sewers. Never really understood why you get 4 sewers. It's always confused me a little bit. I don't know why you get 4. But put that sewer there, and put a drum crafted like so, down next to it, like that. And all you need to do now is make the bottom of this, you're the back out, you're the bottom. There we go. That should start eating them, and it's turning into mob essence for us. Awesome. So that's turning our berries into mob essence. So by the time I get a enderman spawner with one of these guys, broken spawner, no, not a broken spawner, auto spawner, a bit of magma cream we're going to need for that. That's not too big a deal. I need another emerald, so I'm going to have to go to that village and capture a villager who I can do trades with. That village right over that way somewhere, with a safari net. So I am on the way. I'll be able to spawn some endermen as soon as I catch an enderman. The thing I need for enderman, of course, is a gas tier, because you need it for the safari net. What I meant to look for. I need a gas tier, so I need to go into the nether and try and get hold of a gas tier from somewhere. So that's going to be fun with no flight and crappy armour. There we go, I've got mob essence. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. We have got our ME network on the go. Let's have a quick look at the clipboard before I finish up. So More essence, we are sorted. Enderman spawners next. Off camera, I'm going to do some Thaumcraft work. I'm going to get some research done. I want Boots of the Traveller so I can move quicker. I want some runic stuff. I'm going to put an infusion set up in one of the corners because I want to do a little bit of infusing. But I'll do that off camera between episodes. Compressed cobble. I'm going to set up a little compressed cobble gen between episodes as well, and I will show you that next episode. Hopefully, once we get ender pearls, we can get an ender core in the go. So that's going to be the next target once we are once we have got ender pearls. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope I see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Cheers. Bye.